Once the oil begins to lightly smoke, we're going to dump some flour in it, okay? That's going to save time. What kind of time are we saving? Well, think about it. When you're cooking roux at home, who makes gumbo roux from scratch? Anybody? How long does it take you to make a roux? Long time, about 40 minutes.
Yeah, 30, at least 30.
I can do this in about 8 minutes.
Really?
Without having to worry about it, it won't even burn.
So hot.
Okay? This is the trick. Heavy bottom pan number 1. Put your fat in the pan and melt it. Such as the lard, it comes in a block, we have to melt it. Put it on medium heat. Let it come to temperature by itself. Let it begin to smoke, and then dump your flour in. You're not worried about the flour and the oil coming to heat at the same time. We're not worried about that, okay? So what we're going to do with this is we're going to go ahead and let this begin to smoke, and then we're going to add a little bit of flour to it. And the ratio we normally think of when we do this is a 1-to-1. The French use a 1-to-1. 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of fat. I like to give myself wiggle room, so I do 1 cup of flour, 1 1/3 cup of fat. That little bit of third is not much, only about that much. Just gives it a little wiggle room where you're more or less likely to not burn any fat or burn any flour, okay? And all we're going to do is cook this until it turns a nice dark chocolate. Can you get me a little saucer and 2 tablespoons? Okay? Now you can do it in the microwave. I don't know how to do it in the microwave. I know some people do it in the microwave. I have no clue how to do that. You can do it in the oven too.
In the oven.
Yeah.
No oil.
Or you can do like the lazy people in Louisiana and buy it in a jar.
That will taste good.
And they've got jar roux. Most people do it. They cook for a big party and they ain't feel like making no roux. They'll buy it. We got some lazy people. I know some of y'all in here ain't gonna make y'all. Some of y'all in here ain't looking at it. So I'm gonna take that out in the box and I'm gonna put it in the microwave.
She is proud of it.
I had a lady in the class earlier. I said, "What you use for your roux?" She said, "Kitchen bouquet." I'm like, "Oh God."
It makes it dark fast.
Yeah, but it got a flavor. You want the flavor of a roux? This roux is going to be flavored. This, roux is something that we get from the French, and the weird thing about the roux in France is it's not that old. The concept is not very old. Right around the time when the okra arrives in Louisiana, there's one guy in France that sits down at his stove, and what he does is he takes some flour and butter and sticks it in a pan and starts to toast it a little bit, and he says, "Oh, look, it's pretty, and it's got a color." His last name was Laroux. The French are notorious for naming stuff after themselves. Trust me, I got a whole town named after my family in Louisiana called Moreauville. We like to name stuff after ourselves. Okay? Let me guess, your last name is Mandeville or Covington over there? So, when the concept gets to Louisiana, the reason why these ladies in the kitchen embrace that concept is because they realize, wait a minute, whoa, you telling me I can stick flour and I can stick some fat in this pan and I can cook that around and make it change color and I ain't got to cut all that okra and I ain't got to ground up this little leaf? Get rid of that. That's cool. But what happens is in the summertime, the okra sneaks back into the pot with the shrimp and the crab. Okay? The filet, on the other hand, traditionally in Louisiana culture, drops completely off the pot. Because the filet was a way that the ladies in the kitchen realized, well, we can make a gumbo in the fall with this filet because it mimics okra. It mimics flavor, it mimics texture, it mimics color. Okay?
Is that a thickener? Does filet work as a thickener?
Filet thickens too, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you leave it in, if you put filet in the gumbo pot and you let it sit in the fridge overnight, it's going to be thick as glue.
I didn't know that. I thought
It's
it was just a spice. Yeah.
Today in Louisiana, believe it or not, most households, about 98%, leave it at the table and let people put it on their own. The reason why we do that is because it's a very peculiar taste. And if a lot of people don't know how to use this, if you add too much, it gets really thick. And the problem with filet is it doesn't only just get thick, but it gets soapy. You add too much, it has a soapy flavor to it, okay? Because of the natural protein that's in the filet. Is that starting to smoke? Yeah, see the light smoke there? See that? Okay. Got some flour here. I'm going to add this in a couple of stages. Now look, don't burn yourself, y'all. It's going to be hot.
Barbara's really pretend she's going to be
Yeah. I'm going to give it to Steve.
All I'm doing is adding this flour in. A couple of stages here. I can do this. I've been eyeballing this for a long time. If you want to eyeball it at home, you're in a rush. It needs to look like pancake batter. It's almost getting there. Look at that. See that pancake batter? See how it separates a little? Look at that. See that pancake batter in there? Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to mix that around. Just like that. And we're going to start to toast this. Okay? I tell you, with the bacon fat, with the bacon grease, man, this smells good. Now, the reason why I have this Trinity sitting out is for a reason. When we're going to get to the color that we want, as far as what we want the gumbo to look like, we're going to go over the color that we need to. The reason why we need to do that is because if you go too light and you don't go dark enough, what's going to happen is you're going to get this in the pot, and roux have a tendency to lighten up about 2 shades. So if you don't get this dark enough, you can get in that pot and it's going to be white. Then what you got to do? Kitchen bouquet. That's the only thing that's going to save you at that point. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use this Trinity because we're going to go a little bit darker than we should be, and we're going to use that Trinity to stop the process. Unlike most, I see a lot of people do this at home, and I know a couple of internet chefs that do this, and those restaurant TV chefs. I know one guy, we can't mention his name here, but you know he has a restaurant. Okay. But he likes to take his vegetables and throw that in the pan and cook that for another 15-20 minutes. If you do that, you're risking burning those onions.